X cubed is equal to -1. Find the values of x. We take solution. X cubed is equal to -1. This is a cubic equation. That means we are to obtain 3 solutions. First, we are going to start by transferring -1 to the left. This will give us x cubed. When -1 crosses to the left, it becomes positive. Is equal to 0. This will give us x cubed plus 1 equal to 0. We can express this as x cubed minus -1 such is equal to 0. Remember, when we have two negative signs as such, the resulting sign is positive. -1 is equal to -1 times -1 times -1. -1 times -1 gives us 1. 1 times -1 is -1. Expressing this in index form gives us -1 all this cube. In this equation, we are going to replace -1 with -1 cube. This will give us x cubed minus -1 cube is equal to 0. X cubed minus -1 cube at the left hand side of this equation is a difference of 2 cubes. We know if we have a cube minus b cube, it is simply equal to a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. By making use of this formula, if we take the left hand side of this cubic equation, which is x cubed minus -1 cube, this will simply be equal to, comparing their left hand sides, a will simply be equal to x, b will simply be equal to -1. We are going to replace them at the right hand side. This will give us x minus -1 times x squared plus x times -1 plus b squared. That means -1 squared. This will simply be equal to x. Negative becomes positive, gives us x plus 1 times x squared plus x times -1 gives us negative x plus -1 squared. -1 times -1 gives us 1. It simply means x cubed minus -1 cube, which is the same as x plus 1 times x squared minus x plus 1 is equal to 0. X cubed minus -1 cube equal to 0 will simply imply that x plus 1 times x squared minus x plus 1 is equal to 0. For this product to be equal to 0, either x plus 1 is equal to 0 or x squared minus x plus 1 is equal to 0. We are to solve for x in these two equations. If we take the first equation, which is a linear equation, for x plus 1 equal to 0, then if we make x the substitute of formula, we are simply going to transfer 1 to the right hand side, which gives us -1. This is the first solution. We take a 2 star for x squared minus x plus 1 equal to 0. This is a quadratic equation. We are to solve this quadratic equation by making use of the quadratic formula. x will simply be equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Then we divide all this by 2a, where a is the coefficient of x squared, which is 1, comma, b is the coefficient of x, which is negative 1, and c is equal to the constant term, which is 1. This will give us x to be equal to negative of negative 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 1 squared for b minus 4a, value of a is 1, times c, which is 1. Then we divide all this by 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. This will simply be equal to negative 1 times negative 1. It gives us 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 1 squared gives 1 minus 4 times 1 is 4 times 1, 4. We divide all this by 2 times 1, which is 2. 1 minus 4 gives us negative 3. This will simply be equal to 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 3. Then we divide all this by 2. The square root of negative 3 is simply equal to the square root of negative 1 times 3, which we can break this as root negative 1 times root 3, which is simply equal to the square root of negative 1 gives us I, times root 3 gives us I root 3. This will simply be equal to 1 plus or minus I root 3 all over 2. It simply means x is equal to 1 plus I root 3 all over 2, or x is equal to 1 minus I root 3 all over 2. And we conclude, therefore, the solutions of the cubic equation, we have x equal to, for the first solution, x is negative 1, or the second, we have x equal to 1 plus I root 3 on 2, or the third, we have x equal to 1 minus I root 3 all over 2. These are the three solutions of the cubic equation. We are done with the solution of this question. If in case you have any worries, feel free to drop your questions at the comment section. Please, if you like the video, share and subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much for watching.